Now, what the tarnation is this thing? Today, we're going to take a look at the IPing app for your putter.
This golf is sponsored by Nestle Pure Life, where it's cheaper than Ozarka water.
Hey, today we're going to be taking a look at that IPing app for your putter, and it fits right on the shaft. So pretty excited about this, and some of the stats I've been getting have been pretty interesting. And so you guys have probably already figured out I'm a big stats guy. I like numbers. If I'm trying to improve, I need to quantify kind of where I'm at, be able to measure how I'm doing to see if I am improving. We can check some really cool information with this. For example, you have your closing angle, which are you a straight back, straight through putter? Do you have a slight arc to your putt, or do you have a large arc? And Ping actually has recommended putters for each style of putting here. For me, I am a straight back, straight through putter, which I'm really excited about because I've been working on that after reading Dave Peltz's putting Bible. You have the impact angle, so I'm coming through a little open on that, and so you'll be able to see how you're doing at impact. Tempo, you'll acquire a tempo number, and you'll kind of see it on average where you tend to sit at. You want to be like a 2-to-1 ratio on your tempo. And then your lie angle, and so I'm seeing how that is, and your shaft lean, and do you have your hands back, do you have your hands forward, so you can be able to see all these numbers on your putt. That's all nice and dandy and everything, but what those numbers mean? Actually, it's a really good question, because I was looking at all these numbers and I was like, okay, great. Is that good? Is that bad? What? And so I went to my local golf pros to be able to check out and see what these numbers mean and how to interpret them. And so that way I can be able to then have a reference point to be able to say, okay, this is how I can improve. A couple of areas of the game that I can improve on, I was actually, you could take these numbers and then to be able to work on them, start playing games with them. For example, like my tempo. I was working on trying to improve my tempo and be able to create consistency. It's kind of the name of the game with putting. And so I was able to come up with a consistent putting tempo. And so then my job was to try to putt at 2.5 all the time. And so if I was uphill or downhill or side hills, I realized that the tempo stays the same. And so that was kind of a fun little game to play there. The other one, I noticed when I was taking footage from far away that my putter toe tends to be off the ground. And so I need to have that putter square to the ground, my lie angle good, in order to be able to hit good putts. If I'm starting off in a bad position, I'm probably going to get bad results. So what I did was I was seeing where I was in my numbers. I was sitting at probably like 21 degrees, 22 degrees sometimes. And so then I started working on getting my hands a little higher to get that toe closer to the ground. And I was able to get it to like 16, 17 degrees. And then I took some video footage and found out that's where I want to be at. And then I was able to track those numbers every time I was putting through there and be able to see, okay, am I still at 16 degrees? And so the adjustments I made, I was able to pretty consistently start to get that. So that was pretty exciting. So I'm seeing how this has been able to help out my game. Okay, if you're changing those numbers around, does that mean that you're improving? Now, when you're working on your one thing, don't worry too much about results if you're making the putts or not. What you're wanting to do is, are you making adjustments with your numbers? So that's what I'm focusing on. So the successful putt is, did I change my numbers around? get my numbers in place, because I'm going to have to adjust some stuff in my putter swing to be able to get those numbers in place. And so I'm going to feel a little uncomfortable at first. Once I start dialing this in and I'm consistently putting those numbers, then I can start working on, am I making the putts or not. So at first, don't worry about it if you're the results. Just work on the numbers. Try to get those in place. Once you got them in place, then you can start working about draining putts.